Hello, my name is Tyler. This will be my first video for this channel. Ideally, I will be putting out a video once a week and within this title. And as I get further into this video, it'll start to make more sense of what my pursuits are and what kind of the aim of this channel will be. So, to start it off, what is Anthroposophic thinking and what is Anthroposophy? To put it shortly, Anthroposophy is pretty much a way of perceiving the world, the way I think of it, and the ways in which it shaped myself these past couple years as I've been studying it. And I'm really bad with my words, and sometimes I'll make absolutely no sense. So I fear that will occur here. Hopefully not, because I am excited to start this. And so, anthroposophy, the whole idea is wrapped through this connection with humanity through the ages, from the last thousands and thousands of years. It's a way of relating and understanding who we are as a whole and ourselves, and it really cultivates this way of fruitful living. You will manifest good things in your life if you follow this path. This would be the path of the spiritual wanderer, right? Not everybody is into this kind of stuff. Speaking of like religion or spirituality, philosophy, but those who are, I find it's hard to navigate these types of concepts without a guiding hand or without inspiration, truly, and imagination. You need to cultivate a fruitful imagination based on these ancient truths and the truths of today, so that we're not complete loons, right? You don't want to get lobotomized like in the past. And this is a great fear of mine for coming times, as we are labeling mental health, and it feels like it's breeding more and more anxiety and other problems. I mean, how many people are truly screwed in the head just from birth? I mean, I highly doubt, relatively, there's that many that it appears to be. And I wonder how much of the ones who do have these problems, how the surrounding world impacts these individuals and proceeds to truly bring you down if you don't value all the values that I see in this country, the United States. A capitalistic society which encourages what I would call a dying off of the spirit, if you value moral intuition. How this is, you can say cancel culture. We have professions, and we can't just up and get fired after putting 4 years of study into school and then being in debt. And I mean, how this isn't perceived as a type of slavery is beyond me, but no one wants to point out that these type of truths in daily life, it seems like. I mean, just growing up, we all, in school, you see someone getting bullied and no one does anything, and then there's situations where you defend yourself and you're the one in trouble, and it's all from these individuals who just, there's some sort of, I mean, I find that to be a type of prejudice, to be honest. We set this standard as what's normal and what's not, and to be honest, the from my studies and so on, it really feels like these days we're all not normal. But and the ones who really dig deep and try to point these things out get labeled crazy, and then that's it. And who knows what's coming in the future times. I mean, we don't have mental institutions anymore, but I will not be surprised to see them come back very soon. There seems to be a great disconnect between our culture and like what it means to be human. I mean, you can't possibly know until you dig deep and you go through the past and you go through history and you see it with the right lens. But there needs to be guidance. And I find since World War II, I highly suspect that our grandparents and parents' generations are very caught in a web of particular rhetoric. And the only way out is to dig deep and, to put it into easy words, don't be lazy. You have to do the work. We're all lazy, so it's innocent, but to an extent, until it starts impacting culture, the social paradigms, and children. I mean, that drives me nuts when I think about what the youth of today must be going through. I remember growing up and Google is still fresh, and I would just Google anything I could possibly think of and try to, learn whatever was my issue, right, with myself. But that's not real. Like, I can go on YouTube and I can learn how to change a tire and I can learn things, but until it's out in the world, and I don't mean you have to go to college and you need to be a professional, or until it's externalized in the outer world, it's not real. It's in your head. It's your false conception of what it's supposed to be. But we're aware that there are cycles of war. We like to say, every 20 years or so is another war, is what I was told in the military. And that's, it's human nature to be caught in these cycles, but it's the lack of recognition as we're in this age of such an influx of data and so much access to info. It's really becoming inexcusable it's starting to feel like that. I mean, I can't imagine how it is with GPT programs and all this stuff, condensing so much info and being able to find out so much at the tips of your fingers. But it's not real. None of it is until you're out in the world. I read a reading on a philosopher named Fichte from a poet named Novalis' report on it. And what I took from it was Fichte's idea of consciousness being, let's say within parentheses, being A, and A times A being two consciousnesses, or me and another human, or so on, you, and that equals A squared. It's something new. It always will be something new. We accept evolution of the physical, but why not of the mind? It's probably intuited by people, but why it's not spoken of is really beyond me. And as you go through, if you read the humanists and rhetoricians and philosophers and poets and all these ancients, and you understand what they're getting at. Let's start with Aristotle. I mean, he's building a framework towards a moral advancement. And it's, he recognizes the equality of it, as well as the fruit that it will garner in society. From him, Cicero wrote it to his son in a book. Quintilian wrote it. All these guys, all these polymaths. And then you go to the Renaissance, and that's a rebuilding of this kind of idea after this medieval period of dark times, right? And what did they try to bring back? This human connection to, the human soul and our past, as well as how it can advance us in the future. And the Renaissance, I can name a few. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe is one. Erasmus of Rotterdam, Thomas Eliot, Sir Thomas More. Very, very, really smart, intelligent individuals who recognized what was going on in society and what we needed to do for the proper route, right? Because not everything in this country, in the United States, is like some awful thing. There's so, look, I'm so thankful for all these things I have and all this stuff, but it's like, whatever the goalpost is, I believe Jesus resurrected, so there is a goalpost in my mind, and if you hold a faith in some sort of spirituality, there is a goalpost, and I just wonder, we will make it to it, but how many people need to suffer in the process of it? And particularly, how many people that it's not even their own making? That's really, like, if I do some particular act and I something comes from it that's bad, I just accept it, like it's my fault. But something I find, this all really just stems from a separation of like, in the past with husbandry, we still have these follow the rising of the sun, the setting of the sun, and our bodies internally are accustomed to this type of cycle. I mean, there's cycles in every aspect of nature, and it's recognizing ourselves within it, as well as, it within ourselves, and why this is important. I mean, we lack so much faith, it feels like, as I was growing up, and a lot of people claim they're not religious, but we're spiritual, and that's good. That means we all want something. We want there to be something, but without the proper guidance, it's hard to recognize what that is. Children instinctively assume that there's some authoritative power watching over us and taking care of us, and not everyone grows up from leaving that mindset. Really, it's people who go through experiences that are typically nuanced, that don't really fit for by law, and it then falls on whoever's in charge of instilling these channels. There's so much turning a blind eye to stuff, and each time we do, we take one step further towards what this culture is heading down. And look around, and where's the inspiration? Where's the hope? Where's the faith? Where's the empathy? Where's the love? It's something I really wonder, and it's really Rudolf Steiner gets heavily into it with the education and its degradation. But as well as him, Thomas Eliot said the same. Thomas More said this. All these guys I mentioned, they all said the same exact thing. We are decaying. Even at the times of Christ, it was recognized that there were so many hypocrites and so many abusers of what it really means for spirit. And this is something that individually we don't realize it, but individually we're all contributing towards this separation of faith and something that's integral for humans and nature. I mean, it's in everything. It's very easy to start to recognize if you do the work. But this is an internal process where you need to intertwine it with experience as well. And I don't know, I'm just done with the gaslighting in this country and with social media and cancellations and and all the social cowards. I mean, where is the strength coming from anymore? Who will stop turning their heads? Who's going to stand up for these evil people in high places that are doing things and working actively now towards doing things that inhibit our future kids and our own lives and our own equality and our own chances at opportunity and our imagination, and create like it is it just feels like it's hard to get around this, and it's kind of a battle against the law. And I find moral intuition, which you truly need to think it out for yourself on why things are bad and why this shouldn't happen, and as well as whatever is new that you need to recognize shouldn't happen. And we just have so many cowards who don't, it's encouraged in this society to avoid this. You can't, it's not even, they're not cowards. I'm horrible with my words, and it's just an innocent laziness, I think, as well as due to the fact that we're kind of like led down this road of being stuck in this cycle of money and just kind of held liable for this for our actions. And it just comes down to what you value more, I guess. If you value your sustainability and having a lot of money and just being safe for something that's probably not even coming, then you're not going to it's just a killing off of what could be, right? But so all in all, because I'm rambling at this point and I'm speaking in hyperbole and I'm going a little conspiratorial, so I'm gonna wrap this up. But all of these things in mind are anthroposophy, getting into and studying its work and implementing it in your life in any way, just starting and heading towards a thinking in alignment with anthroposophy, you will see the benefits. I can't possibly state it all in this one video, but here, for example, we can say not that. So behind me, we can say, what do you see here? You see this red, and it looks like blood vessels, a vein. And now it's a tree, and now it's a leaf veins, and now it's constellations. And water, fish. I don't know. The song. I don't. It's. I'm pointing to this color thing. I probably sound insane, but I'm speaking of a way of connecting to things that are in as well, like in conceptually piecing together all of these little connections in the world. I'll probably focus on some videos on coincidental cycles and stuff in the future, but I am just real concerned with a couple things, and I don't know, I'm not alone, but I'm also a loser, so it doesn't matter. Um, yeah. So if there's anything that someone can take from this video, I'm hoping it's maybe a little inspiration towards anthroposophy, as well as maybe understanding what faith is, because we all have some sort of faith. It seems like a majority of individuals hold it in this authoritative power and science dogma. We call religion and its instructions dogma, but science is honestly the dogma. I mean, I'm not saying discount science, but the way in which it's analyzed conceptually, not the actual info, but the way that we connect it internally is dogma. And it's faith. It's a belief in something that's not even real. I mean, I promise, whatever the image is in your head, it's, at least in the US, I am, there's a lot of darkness, a lot of evil in this world, and so much stuff that if it came to light, I can't even imagine what would come. So, thank you. Have a good one.